A few years ago, Stanley was a brand that construction workers and outdoor enthusiasts knew about. Then something happened. A single video of a Stanley Tumbler surviving a car fire went viral. The cup sat in the burned-out wreckage of a car, completely destroyed around it. And when the owner picked it up and opened the lid, the ice inside was still intact. That video got hundreds of millions of views, and overnight Stanley became the most talked about drinkware brand on the planet. But here's what nobody in those viral videos ever explains. How is this thing actually built? What happens inside the factory that makes a steel cup so tough it survives a car fire and keeps ice frozen for hours at a time? Today, we are going inside the Stanley factory to find out exactly that. It all starts with steel, specifically 18-8 stainless steel, which is the grade designation for steel containing 18% chromium and 8% nickel. The chromium is what makes it stainless, forming an invisible protective oxide layer on the surface that prevents rust and corrosion even when the steel is exposed to acidic drinks, dishwashers, and years of daily use. The nickel improves the surface finish and adds toughness. And this specific grade is food safe, meaning it does not leach any metallic taste or harmful compounds into whatever you are drinking. The steel arrives at the factory in large, flat-coiled sheets. And from the moment it arrives, the manufacturing process begins. The first machine the steel encounters is a deep drawing press, and watching this machine work is genuinely fascinating. A flat, circular disc of steel, called a blank, gets placed onto the press, and a punch descends and pushes the flat disc down through a forming die, stretching and reshaping the steel into a cylinder in a single stroke. The force involved is enormous, but the process is controlled so precisely that the steel thins out evenly as it stretches, producing a cylinder with consistent wall thickness all the way around. This process is called deep drawing because the depth of the resulting cup is significantly greater than the diameter of the blank it started from. Getting a flat sheet of steel to transform into a seamless cylinder without cracking, wrinkling, or developing thin spots requires the punch and die geometry to be engineered exactly right, and the speed of the press stroke to be calibrated precisely for the specific grade and thickness of steel being formed. One deep draw is not enough to get the cup to its final shape. The cylinder goes through a series of additional drawing and ironing passes on successive machines, each one pushing the shape a little deeper, a little taller, and refining the wall thickness a little further. Between some of these passes, the steel has to go through an annealing process where it gets heated in a furnace to relieve the internal stresses that the drawing process builds up in the metal. Steel that gets work hardened from repeated forming without annealing becomes brittle and can crack during subsequent operations. The annealing furnace heats the steel to a precise temperature for a controlled amount of time and then cools it in a controlled way, restoring the ductility the steel needs to survive the next forming stage without failing. After the body is drawn to its final height, the bottom of the cup gets formed. A separate press operation domes the base slightly inward, creating a concave bottom profile. This is not a design choice for aesthetics. A slightly concave base means the cup rests on a small rim of steel at the outer edge of the bottom, rather than on the full flat surface, which makes it far more stable on slightly uneven surfaces and prevents the base from rocking. The same operation forms the slight outward flare at the bottom that gives Stanley Tumblers their distinctive silhouette. Now comes the part of the process that gives the Stanley Tumbler its most famous property, the vacuum insulation. Every Stanley Tumbler is actually two cups, one inside the other, with a gap between them. The outer wall and the inner wall are manufactured separately and then assembled together with a precise gap maintained between them. That gap is what provides the insulation, but only once the air is removed from it. Air conducts heat, vacuum does not. So after the inner and outer walls are assembled together, the tumbler goes into a vacuum chamber where the air between the two walls gets pumped out completely, creating a true vacuum in that gap. The port that the air was extracted through gets sealed permanently. And from that moment on, the space between the inner and outer walls has no air, molecules in it to carry heat, between the cold liquid inside and the warm environment. Outside, the vacuum extraction process requires the seal between the inner and outer walls to be absolutely perfect before the air gets pulled out. Any microscopic leak path anywhere in that seal, and the vacuum will be compromised over time. The insulation performance will degrade, and the product fails. Stanley uses a proprietary brazing process to join the inner and outer walls at the rim, where brazing material flows into the joint by capillary action when heated, and then solidifies to form a bond that is as strong as the steel itself and completely airtight. Every tumbler gets leak tested before and after the vacuum process to verify the integrity of that seal. After vacuum sealing the exterior surface of the tumbler goes through a surface preparation process before the color coating gets applied. The steel gets cleaned in a chemical bath that removes any oils, oxides, or contaminants from the manufacturing process. Then it goes through a shot blasting stage where tiny steel or ceramic beads get blasted at the surface under high pressure, creating a uniform micro texture across the entire exterior. This textured surface dramatically improves the adhesion of the powder coat that goes on next. Because powder coat bonded to a textured surface has vastly more surface area to grip compared to powder coat applied to a smooth surface. The powder coating process is where the tumbler gets its color. Electrostatically charged powder particles, which are essentially tiny particles of colored polymer resin, get sprayed onto the tumbler surface. Because the tumbler is grounded and the powder particles carry an electrostatic charge, they are physically attracted to the steel surface and stick to it evenly across every contour and curve before any heat is applied. The coated tumbler then travels through a curing oven where the powder melts, flows together, and cross-links into a hard, durable finish that is significantly more resistant to chipping, scratching, and fading than conventional liquid paint. The oven temperature and dwell time are precisely controlled because undercuring leaves a soft finish that scratches easily, and overcuring can cause the color to shift or the finish to become brittle. Lid assembly is manufactured on a completely separate production line and involves its own set of precision components. The main lid body is injection molded from food-grade polypropylene. The molding machines inject molten plastic into steel molds under high pressure, and the parts come out already formed to their final shape with the threads, the sealing surfaces, and the drink opening all molded in. The silicone gasket that creates the watertight seal between the lid and the tumbler body gets placed into its groove by robotic assembly equipment that positions each gasket with consistent compression characteristics. Because a gasket seated too loosely will leak, and a gasket compressed too hard will be difficult to open and will wear out faster. After the lid components are assembled, every complete Stanley tumbler goes through a fill and invert leak test. The tumbler gets filled with water, the lid gets fitted, and the whole assembly gets inverted and held upside down for a set period while automated sensors check for any moisture appearing on the exterior. Any tumbler that shows even a drop of leakage at this stage gets pulled from the line. Then a sample from every production batch goes through accelerated thermal performance testing, where the tumbler gets filled with ice water at a standardized temperature, and the rate of temperature rise gets measured over time and compared against the specification. This test verifies that the vacuum insulation is performing at the level Stanley specifies. On their packaging, the final stage before packaging is a full visual inspection where every tumbler gets examined for a surface finish quality, color consistency, and coating uniformity. Any tumbler with a visible imperfection in the powder coat, any run, any thin spot, any area where the color is not perfectly even, gets rejected. Because the people buying Stanley tumblers are paying a premium price, and they are paying it partly because of how the product looks. A cosmetic defect on a premium product is not acceptable regardless of whether the functional performance is perfect. What comes off the end of this production line is a tumbler that will keep your drink cold for 11 hours and your hot drinks hot for 7, that will survive drops, scratches, and apparently car fires. And that has become one of the most recognizable objects in popular culture over the last few years. The machines that build it are powerful. The process that controls it is uncompromising. And the engineering inside something that looks as simple as a steel cup is genuinely more complex than most people will ever realize.